are a manager who deals with data, who needs to be influential, here is one thing I am sure of. There is an expectation that when you come to present information that people want you to have an informed point of view. It may be your boss, it may be a key stakeholder, it may be the board. They don't just want data, they want what does this data mean and what do you think we should do with this information? Hi, I'm Karen Hurt, and I'm here with the next edition of Asking for a Friend, this time from the office because I have been having this conversation multiple times over the last couple of weeks. And I thought, hey, let's stop here and let's talk about this with the Asking for a Friend community. Let's talk about the mistakes that you're seeing too, as well as what to do instead. So today I'm going to talk about 4 common mistakes that I am seeing. And then I'm going to give you 4 questions to ask yourself as you prepare for this. One mistake is misunderstanding the ask or underestimating the ask. So your manager, a key stakeholder comes to you and you start immediately providing data without checking for understanding, not understanding the context that the data is needed or not understanding the magnitude of the ask. Another one is you think your boss thinks like you. So you work really, really hard to prepare the information in the way that you would like to receive it. And maybe your boss thinks differently and that's not how they want to see it at all. Mistake number 3. This one's a little tricky, but you try to stay out of trouble. I have actually heard people say this to me. I only provide the exact information that my manager asked for because if I provide them additional information, it's just going to open up additional cans of worms. That staying out of trouble is not going to last forever if there is information that your manager needs. Similarly, and this is number 4, you try to look too good. So you only share the good stuff, or you manipulate the data, or you cut the trend just when the trend is going up, even though you know the trend is actually going down. Okay, so let's talk about 4 strategies to turn your information into influence. First, what does your manager actually need here? How are they going to use the information? In what context? Does it need to be really well designed and presented because they're going to send it to the board? Or are they needing information to make a critical decision and do they need it in a certain way? Is there a format in the way they'd like to have it? Next is how do they need it? Written, diagrammed, or just is it a verbal conversation? Do they need bullet point summaries in an email? We've talked about emails before. Do they need a narrative to go with it? How are they going to be using it? And how do they need that information? And then, very critical, schedule to finish. When do they need it? And how does that fall aligned with your other priorities? Because they may be thinking, it was just a simple ask, and I expected I would get this in a couple of hours. And meanwhile, you think, this is fine. I'll get them to him next week. And now you're in a fire drill when they come to you and say, where is that information? And then this 4th one is the most critical of all, making meaning. Are you interpreting the data? You are closer to this work than they are, most likely. And so are you providing context? Is this a trend? What does this data mean? Take a point of view with the data. And then really think about the natural follow-up questions that they're likely to ask you. And then you can say, hey, if I were you, I would be wondering, and here are my answers to those questions. So those are 4 big mistakes and some critical questions you can ask yourself to have more influence and impact. And I'm curious about you. How are you doing this? Are you seeing, if you manage managers, are you having these frustrations? Or how do you use some of these questions or other questions to manage up effectively? I'd love to hear your thoughts and see you next time on Asking for a Friend.